Good morning, good morning. Welcome to Coffee and Crafts with John. Get my my microphone in the right spot here. How y'all doing on this Monday? There we go. That's a little better. All right, so lots going on. Do I ever sleep? No, I never sleep. As a matter of fact, I was going to apologize to y'all because I'm working on literally an hour of sleep today. I had one of those nights where I just could not get it together, and I just was tossing and turning. Anyway, if I'm bleary-eyed, that's why, not for any other reason. But anyway, glad to have you all here. Let's see, Jeff, I got to ask you a question here in chat. I want to make sure before I announce this today. Is Craps Chat happening Sunday? I want to make sure that it is before I go ahead and say anything one way or the other about that. So just want to make sure that's a thing or not. On point, Mike, how you doing, man? You're like one subscriber away from your 1,000, right? Is that correct? About one. Let me see. Why can't I get my? There we go. There we go. That's the wrong screen. We want to be here. Yeah, Mike's about like one or two people away from his 1,000. So that's going to be our big milestone watch. Ken is getting close. Ken's at 926. Ken had an interesting weekend, it sounds like. I watched his trip reports as he was out there at LaBerge, I guess he was, working his new business where he's, him and a partner are out there trying to combine bankrolls and build up a new bankroll. It's pretty cool to watch the process and Ken's openness, of course, as part of that process. It's interesting. Let's see, what else is going on today? We've got, obviously, DiceCon's coming up, so my constant reminder is to get over to Jeremy's colorup.club, get signed up, get part of the membership over there, just because it's great anyway, but more importantly, so we can see you at DiceCon. DiceCon's going to be big. I think we've got, I want to say it's like 50 people are registered for this thing, which is a lot. That's a lot of people that are going to kind of converge and kind of do the casino crawl down there. It's going to be really, really interesting. So that's going to be pretty fun. Good morning, SJ. How are you doing? And good morning, Ian. Ian, I owe you a phone call, by the way. And Kevin. Kevin, I guess Brian had a good weekend down in Vegas. I was watching his Facebook, and it looks like Brian and Chef Dice and Corey had a pretty good time down there. So I can't wait to see their final trip report. I hope that hope it's good. Anyway, what else is happening here? Crypto. So crypto at Iniquity's Party Pit, by the way, get on his channel. Another really good thinker of the game. I got to give you some thanks. So he and I were talking over Slack, not Slack, or I call it Slack, but over Discord, about the strategy that I do when my alteration of the Butterberg. I play it way different than Dan does. The same concept, but I play it differently. And Crypto's done a play on that. He's like, well, I can do what John did a little bit better. I've got some more thoughts on that I'm going to come back to probably later in the week, and we'll do a little bit of another version of it. But he's calling it the cocoa butter, which is fantastic. I think what a great name for my take of the Butterberg. So that gets pretty funny. That's going to be pretty fun. So I'm going to do that, and maybe he and I'll go back and forth a couple times here and sort of just, kind of tweak that thing back and forth as we go. What else happened here? I'm trying to think who else I saw. Dice Degen did the 100 roll challenge over the weekend, it looks like, with Waylon's dice set, the 5635. And he rolled 100 times to see, can I really get more 10s and 4s than 7s? And he did, by a lot. 20 10s and 4s versus 13 7s. Which is interesting when you look at, how many of those can I roll versus a 7? It's really an even Steven type of thing, but it means to me you shouldn't avoid the 4 and 10, really. I look at things like that with regards to hedging the don't. If you think about hedging the don't coming out, you're going to get whacked on the 7. That is what it is. It's a separate thing. But not hedging the 11, I almost never hedge it, although I hate losing to it, because there's 2 ways to roll an 11, but there's also 3 ways to roll the 2 or the 3. You're actually in an advantage position to get paid versus not get paid there. And even if it's going to likely be about even, you're going to get paid as much as you lose in that. Don't waste the money hedging the 11 on the don't. It's the same theory as the 4 and 10 versus the 7, and it definitely works. It definitely works. I mean, like I said, and we're going to do some of that today. I'm going to play out one of my favorite strategies today because, as you know, as the title of my video says today, the GOAT is back. So we're going to talk about the GOAT strategy today and play a little bit of that. So anything else that's on the news here? I'm looking at my chart. Obviously, Get to Casino Gaming TV. You're already here with me. We're going to have a low count today. We have 18 people on the chat this morning. Normally there's about 50. And that's because we broadcast to both Casino Gaming and to ProCraps channel. I'm dropping the ProCraps feed this week, so we're going to be a little low on numbers. I'm going to try and work the folks from that side over to us over here so we get the numbers back up. But for now, it'll be kind of a tight group, I think, until I can make that switch really happen strongly. So we'll see as we move ahead. All right, let's get into the actual content for today. And I want to talk a little bit about what's coming up for us. So what's going to come up for us is a couple of things. This is a weird looking slide, I think, to you, but we're going to talk about the mental game a little bit. Specifically, not today, but about shame and regret. Like, that's the things that were on my mind over the weekend. And shame and regret are real things. And I got this idea to talk about this stuff for two reasons. One is somebody wrote me a message, a private message, and said, hey, how do you mentally prepare to play? And I took 2 days to think about, like, how do I mentally prepare to play? I don't really know. And I had to think about the things that I do to get mentally ready to play on these weekends. And here's Brian. Good. I'm glad you're here, Brian. I'm talking about you and your trip. And so, like I said, somebody asked me about how do I get mentally prepared. Brian spent, 2 weeks filming himself practicing to get ready for a trip to Vegas. That's physical preparation because he's doing it with this, he's actually getting ready. But also the mental side of that of like, let's go ahead and film ourselves doing that, which is lens accountability. I practice every day, as you know. My show in the morning is me practicing, really. And I do it at night sometimes. I film it, sometimes I don't film it. And I want to talk about that piece of it. But the shame and regret piece of this thing, I talk to you all the time about not having fear of missing out on some of these roles that I have. And there's this shame factor. First of all, there's regret that you missed out on something. There's a shame factor in, oh man, I'm playing in a way that's not winning. Everybody else is winning, but I'm not. And there's a sort of like I said, there's shame in that. There's also this feeling of jealousy is the wrong word for it, but one of my pastors used to always say to us, comparison is a thief of joy. And I want to dive into that a little bit. And I'm going to dive into it specifically with the color up rollout of Vince's ROI strategy. And the reason why I'm choosing that one, I did a Hawaii Crap Shooters rollout analysis a while back, which was wildly popular, by the way. It was a good one. I'm going to do the color up rollout of Vince's ROI because if you recall last week, I had a rollout that it seemed horrendous, right? I had one where I went bankrupt, but then I won like 3 or 4 times after that. So I had 1 where I got whacked, 4 where I won. Jeremy the other night had 3 where he got whacked and 1 where he won. And I think looking at those 2 roles side by side, and not so much for the money that was won, but for the opportunities that were there and missed and made. And I want to take a look and break that thing down. I talked to him to get permission yesterday. He said it's fine to do that. So we're going to go and look at one of Jeremy's rollouts from a recent color up video and just break that thing down and see kind of, what we would have done with it that's differently, but more importantly about how he handled the wins from that strategy. I think it's going to be a good lesson for me anyway. Hopefully you'll come along for the ride and dig it too. So we're also going to look at some things this week about loss recovery and loss prevention. So the idea of pressing your way out of a loss, the idea of regressing your way to prevent loss, and the idea of chasing loss with ladders. And what Vince does in this ROI strategy that he put out the other day, this kind of it's not a martingale, not really a Marty, but it's kind of a smarty, because he only martingales at certain points in time during the system. And I want to make sure we talk about that because there's a little bit of genius to that. And I think it's an obvious thing that we probably all miss. I know I miss it. I do it I just do it as a matter of course, but Vince called it out as a thing you should be doing. And I'm going to recall it out because it was a really smart thing to talk about. So that's going to come later this week as well. But as far as what's coming up for us strategy-wise, again, I'm working my way through some of my favorite ways to play. I've added a new one to the bottom of the list here, which I'll give you a highlight of that in a minute. But today we're going to work the GO.A.T because he's back. And I've done some videos on the come ladder and the border strategy. I may come back in the morning and redo those. I don't know if you all like those or not, but I like those ways to play. So we may come back in the morning and play through some of that stuff. I've added the cocoa butter to this thing here because crypto named it that, and I think it's fantastic. And we're gonna do the power hedge. Power hedge is a new one I say new. There's no such thing as a new strategy. Every strategy, as you know, has been done. Excuse me. Every strategy sucks, by the way. They all lose. It's a matter of when they lose and how fast they lose, really, is the difference between strategy A and strategy B. The power hedge is a cool one. It's kind of a play on, if you remember the 3-point blender, if you want to get ready for the power hedge, I'll do it this week sometime. Watch the old videos on the 3-point blender. Just search 3-point blender. For a while there, that was the only strategy anybody played. Excuse me. Go check that out. This is a play on that, but it's my aggressive play on the blender. So I'm basically doing a 2-point blender, maybe 3, we'll see. But it's how I get to the blender, the level that I play at, and the reasoning behind what I'm doing. And I'll really explain to you what it is. It is a grind. It's a grind strategy. It's a complete hedge strategy. Many of you will probably hate this thing, but it's interesting. I've been playing it a lot over the weekend just in practice mode, and I'm like, I'm making money at this thing. And it's not, well, it's kind of fun, I guess, but it's not like it's a go for the home run strategy. This is literally a let me win $45 every roll kind of a strategy. And it's kind of an ATM machine in that respect, but it's not, you're not pulling out big bucks. You're pulling out small bucks with it, but it's cool. So I hope that you like the thought process that went behind it to see if you like that. Anyway, we'll see. Yeah, drink some coffee. I'm telling you, man, it's weird. I had this night where I just could not sleep, and I woke up and like my throat's all jacked up, and it's not COVID, I know that much, but it's just like whatever, rough night. So that said, that's coming later in the week. We're gonna do the power hedge. I may do a rollout at night to show it to you kind of in long form before I come back here in the morning and really describe kind of the way to play it, because there's some nuance to that strategy that I think is going to be fun to see and learn, but I got to work out some of the kinks still. So that's coming. Anyway, today we're going here. We're going to talk about the GOAT. The GOAT's back. As you know, Tom Brady unretired, and I don't think any of us are surprised by the fact that he unretired. It was pretty clear that was what was going to happen. But I think what's interesting about this is it gives me a chance to talk about the strategy again. And the GOAT strategy is one of these strategies that it's one of the, I hate to say it's the worst because it's called the greatest of all time strategy. It's a really good moneymaker if you can get the rolls, right? Like anything else, if you get the rolls, it works. But the GOAT strategy is fully right side. Like there's no hedging here. There's no hybrid here. There's no anything other than we're just going to play craps and hope that we win. This is like you're going to need $150 per shooter at minimum to get through it, to roll, and you need a roll to help you out here. So this is going to be a no safety net kind of a strategy, but it's fun. You could build in some don't into this if you wanted to. The way that it starts out with, of course, is a pass line bet, likely speaking with max odds, okay? And again, I'm going to use the football analogy here for this one, but this is a fully right side play. And if you put yourself in Tom Brady's head, right, the GOAT, he plays the pass line with odds, he bets on himself. That's the idea behind that first bet. Then when you're in the game, when you're playing the game, we're going to use the 6 and the 8 as kind of a quote unquote short running game, or like the short passing game or the running game. The idea is we're not going to press the 6 and 8 to the moon. We're going to use those things as grinders because they hit often enough. What I want to do is get them about half where they're going to be 2/3. Maybe we'll start with like an $18 6 and 8 and get them up to $30 and leave them there. Take one hit, get the 30, and then just start racking $30 every single time. Just rinse and repeat on the 6 and 8. Just grind with those things. I might use some of the winnings to get the outside numbers pressed up, but likely we're going to be just collecting on 6s and 8s all day long. If the field gets hot, we could use the 6 and 8 money to hop in the field. In other words, the 6 and 8 will be at 30, they'll pay 35. If the field is going well, we may take those $10 chunks and drop them into the field on later rolls. That's going to be kind of like feeder money for the field if it's playing well. The 4 and 10 is really where the money is here. And the 4 and 10 are like your wide receivers. It's going to be where we're going to go for the touchdowns. And effectively, we're going to play the 4 and 10. We're going to buy them or place them depending on what level we're going to start at some number, whether it's $10 or 15 or 30 or whatever it's going to be. We're going to also do the hard 4 and hard 10 for the same amount. And the idea is, as you know, when I played the 4 and 10, I played them at the same amount so that if an easy 4 comes, let's say, we lose the hard 4, the easy 4 win pays for the hard 4, and we take a little bit of profit back. That's kind of the cycle that you're in with the 4s and 10s. We are going to try and press our bought 4 and 10 up to 3 levels. So we're going to go from 10 to like 25 or 30 and leave it there and just let that thing, again, cycle. The real money is going to be made at the hard ways. We're going to try and get the hard ways pressed up to a point, and then again, work through the hard ways, either a single press, a full parlay, or some amount of partialness in there. I'm going to show you here in a minute the bet levels that we like to play in this one and what my targets are, and we'll explain why those are going to be our targets. Let me just go ahead and give you that screen here. All right, let's go to that one. All right, here's the 2 basic bet levels that we've got. One is going to be I call it collect the quarter. And this is going to be the 6 and 8 starting out at $18 each with a target value of 30. So the first hit on either one of those, we'll have to drop some money. We're going to have to drop $3 to get into $30. And then we're going to collect 35 on both those from that point forward. On the 4 and 10, we're going to start at 10. We're going to try and get them to $25. The hard 4 and 10 are going to start at 10. We're going to try and get those to $20. That way, when the easy 4 and 10 win, you're going to win 50. You're going to replace 20 over there in the hard ways that you just lost and rack $30. So it's going to be basically the 6 and 8, the 4 and 10 are collecting a quarter all the time. Those extra nickels we're going to set aside, maybe to go into the field or maybe to do some extra play later on. So that's at the quarter level, that's what it's going to look like. It's about $86 to get out there, which is a lot. You can reduce it down. This can be played at the $5 level too, but we're going to start at the $10, $15 level. The rack the black level is the same play, except for the amounts. The 6 and 8 will start at $60 each, with a target being of 90. So again, the first hit, they can both go to 90, and now they collect a black every time. It's 105 on every single hit. And again, ground chuck. We're just going to grind those 6s and 8s. Not going to press to the ceiling. It's going to collect our $100 every time. The 4 and 10 are going to be at $25 to get started, and our target for them is to go to 75. On the hard ways, they're going to start at a quarter. Our target there is to go to 50. Why? Look at the math. The 4 and 10, when they collect on the easies, they're going to win 150. 75 pays 150. We lose 50 on the hard way. You replace it and you rack a black. So in both cases, you're racking a black every single hit as we go. And then we make a decision. Do you want to take 2 or 3 hits, turn things off, 2 or 3 hits to come down, or do you want to roll it out until you get burned? Either way, that's going to be the strategy. That's it. That's the GOAT right there. There's no 5 and 9. 5 and 9s are wasted rolls in this one. The field is a wasted roll until it starts coming. After a certain number of hits, maybe after the 6 and 8 hit twice each or once each, you can start picking up the 5 and 9s with a quarter and build them up. That's an option for it. But really the core of the strategy is ground chuck in the middle, home runs on the outsides, and that is the GOAT. Again, I use the football analogy for it because it feels like a running game and a passing game to me, and that's what we're going to do. So with that said, I'm going to go to the table and roll this thing out. This is, again, the GOAT strategy. We're going to go roll it out. Let's go to the zoom view first. We'll look at it in tight. I'll lay the chips out there. I'll show you how it works, and then I'll get my dice out and we'll start rolling this thing. So here we go. Get some light for you. All right. Puck will be off, of course. What I've got here in the rack, by the way, is $1,000. I've got 800 in black, and we'll count this out. This is going to be $86 here in reds and whites. So I'm going to set up the $18 6 and 8, $10 4 and 10, $10 on the hard ways, and let's see. There we go. I think I miscounted. So there's $86. Oh, sorry, $10 for the pass line. So there's our starting foray. These will be off, by the way, come out roll. So you've got 18, 36, 46, 56, 66, 76, $86 to get out at the $10 level. It's a lot of money, right? You need at least $860 to roll in here with this. I have an extra 100 so I can place odds behind the line. Actually, I probably should have 100 and a quarter, but I'm just going to use 4. That's a setup. We establish a point, come back here with odds, and hopefully get some rhythm in here and get some of these things to pay off. That's the whole strategy. If you're going to play it at the higher level, again, it's going to be $60 6 and 8, like so. Quarters on the 4s and 10s, and quarters over here, and of course a quarter on the pass line, with probably 300 or 400 bucks in odds behind it. So that's going to be the higher level. You'll need more money for the odds. And again, the way that I roll through this thing is this. The first time the 6 and the 8 roll, that's going to pay 21 bucks. We'll need to drop $3 from our rack to make this right, but that will make this first press to 30. So the first one of these both go to $30 with this money. Again, you're going to have $18 here. There's 25. There's 30 on each one of those. That's going to be the press up to 30 here. Then we start collecting. So first hit in here goes to 30, we collect. If we're at this level, the first press goes to 90 and we start collecting, okay? Once that's, I'll put this money back. Once that's done, we're looking at the 4s and 10s. And again, I want to get these up to 25 bucks as fast as I possibly can. It's going to take a couple hits because 10 is only going to pay 18 bucks, right? I can get, but I'll lose 10 on an easy. I got to replace that up by a nickel. It's going to take a hot minute to get these things up. You might take your first hit on the 6 and 8 following the press to get both of these to 25 a little bit quicker. That might be the faster way to go. If I get a hard way as the first one, the hard way, I'll instantly go to 25 over here and 20 on these two and reinvest the entire hard way hit to get myself where I want to be to hit goal. And then we're on the collect mission. So hopefully the hard way comes first so I can get it all set. And then it's just gonna be rinse and repeat. So that's the idea. It's a pretty simple strategy. Again, it's not like rocket science, it's football. We're just gonna go ahead and grind this thing to death and see if we can't get ourselves pressed up to where we wanna be at goal and then start collecting. And again, I think I wanna go back to what Vince said the other day, last week in one of his strategies, which was having a goal to get to on these bets and not exceeding the goal is kind of an important thing to think about. We get in trouble when we press too high, but getting to a level, a set level that your goal is set for, and then working from there, I think is an interesting way to pursue this. So with that said, I'm gonna go ahead and zoom back out and roll this guy out a little bit, and hopefully I get a better roll that I usually get in the mornings here. I'd like to get a longer roll so we can see this and maybe get more than 0.7 out 5 times in a row so we can see the strategy roll and get a sense of its rhythm. But here we go, let's come out. We use the white dice today. We have a 5, 2, 7 coming out, which is fine, right? Get paid in the pass line. Let's see, should I be setting today? I guess I will set. I'll do this one here. We'll do Wayland set the 5, 6, 3, 5 set. And I get a second 7 on the come out, great. Let's get the 7s out of the way early today. All right, here we go, coming out. Let's get a number. 1, 2, 3. We're having a tough time getting rolling here, aren't we? Please, let's not have to be one of those days, right? All right, here we go. All right, there's a hard 10 coming out. Oh, I didn't put my pass line back. Hard 10 coming out. That's a waste. That's a waste of a good roll right there. That would have been nice to have had that be something good. Now what I got to do here is take this, because I'm already on it. We'll take the place bet and move it back as odds. And we'll actually go here. I'm just going to go with double odds for now, which means my 10 is already at the level I want it to be at. Consider the 10 to be pressed up because we got the odds back here. Now we're going to work the 4 and of course the hard ways if we can. So let's get this thing bugged out here, and here we go. There's a 3, 2, 5, and that's one of the downsides of a strategy like this is there's quite a few unproductive rolls that you're going to get. All those field numbers, of course, and the 5 and 9 now become very unproductive for us. There's a 1, 2, 3, ace deuce, no help. There's a 5, 4, 9 again. No, it's 3 in a row, completely non-productive. Again, that's a killer when you're not covered on every number, obviously, right? One of the things that, there's a 4, 3, 7. One of the things that Jacob from Ways Me This always says, and I agree with him, is that if you're gonna play across, ideally you cover them all, right? Because you have rolls like that where we had 2 or 3 in here, that we got nothing out of. So that was a completely wasted roll, which should not come as a surprise to anybody. All right, what I'm gonna do here is drop 100 out of my rack and reset myself with 86 bucks. Okay, so we'll drop 100, we'll reset the whole board. 10, 10, 15, 15, 10, 10, 10. And we'll get $16 in change, or $14 in change rather. And there we go. We'll reset again. Everything's off with the puck, except for, of course, the pass line. And we have a 7 on the come out. We're hitting the 7s today. Here's your payment, and we'll come back with that. There's a 6, a 516, that's cool. There's the point. We'll take down our 18 bucks that we have out here on the 6. And we'll go with 50 in odds behind the line. And that'll be considered our pressed up 6. So the ground chuck portion of this thing will only be the 8. The 6 will just give us money to kind of press everything else up as we please. So here we go. There's a 415 again, that non-productive roll. Go back to my set here. Here we go, coming out. There's aces. And again, there's a hard 8. That's awesome. Hard 8. That's going to pay 21. We're going to go to 30 with it. And we're already there. That 8 is already paid up where it's going to be. I'm actually going to clean that up a little bit too. All right, 8's ready to go. Work the outsides now. Again, the 8 and the 6 clearly are going to be just collect onlys if we can keep them rolling here. And of course we don't. 4, 3, 7. All right, so far so good. We're doing great. When I go into the review section here, we're going to look at what does it take to make a strategy work. Obviously, it takes a good roll. You're not going to make any money on anything unless you're playing straight don't when you roll 3 times and 7 out. That's just not going to work for you. All right, here we go. Set back up. Again, presetting before I start rolling. All right, let's get our whites. There's your whites, and we're going to get 14 and change. I'll get 15 for a buck here and change. In fact, let's take these and get some. I'll leave them in there. It's fine. All right, we're set back up. Shooter number 3. Haven't made a dime yet. Everything's off except for the pass line, of course, coming out to an 8 is our point this time, the 8. All right, so we'll take our bet on the 8 down. Again, we'll come $50 in odds. Let's make it happen somewhere on this table, shall we? There's a hard 6. Hard 6, and again, that pays 21 bucks. We're going to press it to 30. Bring back a little bit of change to the rack. I'll clean that up. And there we go. We are set on the 6. Just need those outsides to hit. There's a 5, 4, 9. One of those nice non-productive kind of rolls. There's a repeater of the 9, 5, 4, 9 again. Good Lord. 7 out. All right, reset it again. G.O.A.T is playing like a damn chump today, I'll tell you that. This is one of those days where you want to trade the guy. All right, let's do it again. I think I probably have enough money here in reds and whites to just go right out. I think. Let's find out. 10, 10, 10, 10, 15, 15, and 10. We do. We have enough piled up from our medial collects in the middle there to get out. I will have to probably break a black to get the odds, but let's do it again. Coming out. 1, 2, 3, takes me away. I'll need to, do I have 10? I do, I have exactly 10. There's a 4, point's gonna be 4. And here we go, we'll take this down, of course. I'm gonna get greens. And we're gonna go with 30 bucks in odds. So our 4 is ready to roll. There's an easy 10, finally something, right? Easy 10, we'll lose the hard 10. That's gonna pay 18 bucks. We're gonna replace the hard 10, take myself to 15, and rack some whites. Oh my goodness. 7 out. Ugh, we just can't even today. I don't even want to look at the comments. All right, let's get another 100. We're burning our entire bankroll. This is great. Stop loss. Right now, we're about half of where we started with. There's 100 bucks. Let's get ourselves set back up again. We'll try it 1 or 2 more times here. There's our 10, 16, and we get 14 change. 14 change for the 100. And let's get rolling here. That's going to be, the red's got to go here. Can I get 1 roll? It's at 4 straight. There's a 7 on the come out. This puck's got to be off, by the way. Here we go. All right, point's going to be a 5 this time. All right, there's a 4, 4, hard 8. That'll pay 21. I'm going to drop 3, get these both to 30. That should be enough money to do that. There's 25, 30, there's 20. Yep, they're both gonna go to 30 bucks. So my 6 and 8 are ready to go, which is good. Now, let's get something other than big red here. There's good, that's an 8, $35 8. So, I'm gonna pay the 8, the 35 bucks, all in red. Right? One too many, all in red. What we're gonna do is get the 4 and the 10, each pressed up to 25 bucks. So they are at goal. I'll take this nickel back to the rack. Now I could go in here and press these up where I want them, which will be 20. I'll wait till the next hit to do that. Let's get one more thing to hit and see if we can't roll this thing out. There's a 5, 1, 6. Oh, I forgot my odds back there. Misplaying my own hand. Max odds on the 5. All right, that's a 6 that pays 35 bucks. And again, I'll take nickels here for the quarter and come over here to the hard ways. And now they're both where they want to be. So everything is at the place I want it to be for collections, right? We've got 30 bucks on the 6 and the 8, collecting 35. We have 25 over here that'll collect 50. To replace 25, it'll be a $30 take home for each of the easies. 20 bucks over here times 7, it's a 140 every time a hard way hits. So now we're set up. It only takes a couple hits to get set up, as you can see. Just got to survive this right here. Got to survive that guy. Once you get set, man, you can't have 4 rolls and expect to do anything in this game. All right, here we go. We'll do one more hand. At least you can see me get it set finally. Like I'm not a complete fail when it comes to getting the rolls in here, but let's go. Wow. What a disastrous rollout. Let's go. I'd like to see this thing win once because I want to make that point, the point of patience. There we go. 18 and 14 change. 86 out, 14 back. All right, puck is off. It's a 527 on the come out. There's that payment. There's a midnight, which takes that. We'll put it right back. Hard 8. All right. The point will be 8. Just going to come out strong with odds on the 8. The 8 is pressed up where it needs to be. Let's get some hits. Oh, you got to be freaking kidding me. 437 right out of the gate. How many 0.7 ounces that been? Good gravy. Ugh. All right, we're going to have to roll it again. I have to roll it one more time. Wow. Good Lord. Talk about donating money to the house right here. There's another 100. And again, we'll do 15 for 1 as change. $15 for 1. All right, let's do something a little more special than 7 out on the first roll, shall we? Is that an 8 again? Hard 8? All right, let's get that set. Oh, I should have had my whites. Sorry, my caps should have been on there. Mistaken. All right, 8 comes back. We're going to drop 50 in odds behind it. There we go. 0.8. Let's do it. All right. 426. It's going to pay 21 bucks. We're going to go ahead and press that up to 30. Take back our change. I'll clean that up. All right, so the 6 is ready to collect. There's the 8. Oh my God, a point made. Can you imagine that? I made a point. Cool, that pays decently well. It's gonna pay 60 behind and 10 in front. Fantastic, so I'm gonna bring all this back. Leave that there, of course. Let's go ahead and exchange with our wins, the 4 and 10 for a quarter each. And while we're at it, we'll get the hard ways up to 20 each, and we'll take 50 bucks back in the rack. So we've got ourselves set up from the previous shooter. Now, hopefully this next shooter here will give us some goodness. 8's the point again. We'll go right back out there with those odds. Everything is set and ready to go. Will this be the one? There's a midnight. Nope, it will not be the one. It will be a 7 out, immediate 7 out. All right, we're gonna cut it here. Stop loss, 400 out of 1,000. So that's where it has to be. We're gonna have to just kind of kill it. Clearly not our day, right? Oh my goodness gracious. All right, this is the Terry Bradshaw strat. That is fantastic, good call. All right, here we go. Let's go back to the voice here. All right. So that worked out really well, didn't it? Wasn't that awesome today? Here's the deal. It's not always going to work, right? And it doesn't really matter what you do unless you're playing straight. This is why, honestly, this is why the Horseman's my way to play. You can't win on the right side of any strategy if you're going to roll like that, right? If you're going to have, I think, out of the 5 or 6 shooters we had, 3 of them were 0.7 outs, right? And I've told you before, the number of 0.7 outs that you see is real, right? It's real. It's over 20%, 28% in fact, of people will do what you just saw there. That's the way it is, right? That's the way and what you're hoping for, you buy in for 10 times, you hope that one of the 10 is going to be the one that gets you there, right? Now I cut it because of time here. I would have probably played this next 3 out, but that's what it is, right? Yeah, James, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over. You can't beat the 7. You can't beat it. What you're hoping for, though, is that out of 10 shooters, one of them does, right? You're going to have 8 or 9 crap mid-range ugly rolls, and one of them that breaks probability and goes for like 10 or 15. That's the one you can profit on. I didn't get the 1 today, right? And sometimes you don't get the 1. But that is what it is. That strategy can win. You can see how easy it is to get to goal, right? I'm right there with 25, 25, 30, and 30. and 20s over here. You can get there in a couple of hits. It's not hard to get, quote unquote, set up with it. You got to perform after that, though. You got to come to the plate and hit the damn ball after you're set up. And today I just couldn't do it. So that is what it is. So whatever. I like the strategy. It's still fun. There's no hybrid to that. If I was playing the hybrid on that, where I had a don't pass instead of a pass, you probably survive those rolls and keep fighting and grinding as you go. It's interesting. People say grinding is losing, right? Grinding is losing slower. Hedging is losing slower. Well, if we had done don't passes with odds instead of passes with odds on all of those rolls, where would we be right now? Right? We'd probably be about even in Iraq, maybe $100 down versus being 700 down. The reason why hybrids work and hedging kind of works is because of when that kind of situation happens, it'll keep you floating until it's time to get the good one. Here, we just went straight into the shitter the whole way through, never got a chance to get rolling. And that's pretty tough. Does that make sense, everybody? So hope that makes it makes sense in my head. I hope I said it right. Yeah, you're right, Waylon. If I'd been playing the Horseman, I would have rolled 4s and 10s today, no question. And you know, I did, right? We rolled we rolled 2 easy 4s, an easy 10, and a hard 10 in that range over there. Had I been working on the come outs, we would have been okay. Both of those. Timing is a big thing, right? My 4s hit and the 10s hit on the come out rolls when I'm not working. And I didn't work because I had the pass line going. If the pass line wasn't going, I would have been probably working. It's interesting, you know, those rolls are non-productive and the 4 and 10 are hard to get. And we got 2 of them while we were coming out. Very, very non-productive rolls right there. That should be a highlighter for me too. I think when I'm playing the 4 and 10, it really feels like you got to always be working because when they come, boy, they're going to come when they come. All right. I think that's all I've got for you today. Let's see. If this, you know what? Brady's like, what, 46 years old? He'll be fine. The thing about Brady, and I'm glad you brought him up because I told you I was never a Brady fan, right? I always actually didn't like him very much. And I realized after he left New England that who I didn't like was Belichick, not Brady. And when he came to Tampa and won with a different team and coach, I'm like, damn, that guy actually is pretty good. Like, it's not just the Belichick system. It's actually the dude can freaking play. So anyway, that was the genesis of that strategy. It's a nice little football analogy for you as opposed to the baseball ones that I use for other strategies. And I think it's fun. So anyway, that's it. I'm going to play that again, probably in a nighttime session, just because I believe that it can work. I might have to put some hedge on that or some kind of hybrid to it just to see, but that was brutal. That was an absolute old fashioned ass kicking right there. So, all right, folks, that's going to be it. It's 10 of 9. I got a meeting to prep for. I'm going to go to work. Tomorrow, I'm going to do the breakdown of Jeremy's role and we'll talk about that. We'll talk about what it looked like because Jeremy had a similar situation. He had 3.7 outs and a good one, which is what I was hoping for today. And again, my point today, whatever, we'll look at Jeremy's role tomorrow, which the same situation, but he got the role. And I want to talk about what it means to get the role. So have a great day, everybody. I will see you tomorrow. And with that said, God bless y'all, and we'll see you.